Hi, thank you. Thank you very much. What is perspective in visual arts? How do we develop it? And why do we care? Let's take a look at why we care. Perspective in visual arts is a technical rule to create a three-dimensional object onto a two-dimensional surface, such as a canvas. But we also use the word perspective to mean our emotional viewpoint, or our emotional viewpoint about a piece of art. Think about this. Rules do not govern our points of view. Perspective is only formed by the emotional experience we have with our understanding of rules. For example, in snow sports, we know the rules of skiing, for example, turning, edging, and pressuring our skis. This is what I would call the rules, the technical rules of skiing. It's good to know how to turn your skis. Certainly following a few of those rules makes skiing safer and more enjoyable, but this alone is not our perspective. Rules must be coupled with our emotional viewpoint. Do we feel happy? Do we feel safe? Do we feel accomplished? The rules and the emotional components of skiing work together to build our perspective. I believe understanding perspective in visual arts, both the rules and the emotional experiences, can unlock more meaningful perspectives in all walks of life. So let's see how this works. How does perspective in painting work? Okay. Here's a photo reference of a railroad track. Let's say we want to paint this railroad track. The very first thing I think I would do is find the vanishing point. That is the very end of the railroad track that's the furthest away. But I'm going to place that vanishing point in a special area. And I'm going to give you a shortcut to a very complex topic called the golden ratio. The very shortcut to the golden ratio is to find the focal point. The way we do this is we measure the width and the height of the surface, such as a canvas, divide each by 1.6. The intersection of those points is what I would call the focal point. When we build perspective in visual arts, we want to make sure that the vanishing point we use overlays exactly onto the focal point. This will give us an optimal visual place in our art to build perspective. So here's an example of the focal point and the vanishing point overlaying one another. And then from there, we can build perspective lines that will help us draw this railroad track. The outcome might be a painting that looks like this. So I'm not a railroad person, so this painting in this case really does nothing for me. So we need to really build on the emotional perspective of painting, both from an artist perspective as well as an audience perspective, a viewer perspective. So let's take a look at this. I like mountains. I like the outdoors. I live here in the Vail Valley. And one of my favorite subjects is the Grand Traverse. This is the big mountain that you see just outside of Vail. You can easily see it when you're driving eastbound on I-70 heading to Denver. In addition to those rules that we have for building perspective in visual arts, we also need to consider the subjects that we love, the colors that we love, and a few other design elements. Pull those in as an artist, pull those in as a viewer. And now we have an art form that creates an emotional perspective. So here's the Grand Traverse. The first thing I did in this painting is find out the focal point using the golden ratio. And I built perspective lines so that I could kind of figure out where I want the colors and the eye to sort of wander from that focal point. And that's how I ended up with this painting that you can see. It's on display out in the lobby. Let's look at another one. Here's the painting that we have on stage. It's actually called Perspective, and I developed it for this lecture and for your viewing. Hopefully you enjoy, viewers' enjoyment. Once again, I found the focal point using the golden ratio. I used perspective lines to build out that three-dimensional look. And so where the tops of the trees are, where the sunlight rays are coming through the trees. And with any luck, that created a visual experience that creates emotional satisfaction for me. And I hope it creates warmth and a positive emotional experience for you. So what can we do to make a difference? The best artists create, follow, and break rules. They provide viewers and really all of society with brand new artistic experiences. Think of Monet, Picasso, Van Gogh. They're all rule breakers. They've challenged society with new perspectives on art. Visual arts teaches us how to develop meaningful perspectives, following and breaking rules, communicating emotion, and really making the world a better place one painting at a time. I challenge you to all find your inner Picassos, challenge the rules, create the new normal, and elicit positive emotional experiences in all you do. Thank you.